Hello everyone, Intuitive Perceptions back with Who It May Concern. So, as I was looking at this little spread here, and by the way, we have two extra cards here that popped out. So I was looking at it and, just kind of contemplating on it and seeing what the messages are. And all of a sudden, my eyes kind of shifted the cards in the center, right? And when they shifted, I went with it and I moved them, right? And when I did that, more messages started coming through and the spread made a little bit more sense. So before I move them as to how I saw it in my head, here we have the King of Pentacles, reverse, Four of Wands, the High Priestess, Page of Cups, Three of Wands, Justice reversed, Temperance, and then the Devil card. Now, how I saw them, the cards shift or the spread shift, was as so. Kind of, how was it? Like this. So this is how I saw it in my head. I was kind of like, oh, okay. And the spread made a lot more sense. Now, when I see it in this manner, the messages that I see coming up are two different scenarios. So these two belong to this center, these two belong to this center. And I kind of feel like maybe it's two separate situations. Maybe one can be maybe like a cause and effect. I also feel like these two cards here at the end is also a cause and effect. So with this little quad spread over here, we have to remember that when we don't lay our foundation down properly, or when money is always on our mind, and we fail to realize other maybe situations or other, I don't want to say more important circumstances or situations kind of going on, but when we just are focused only on making the money, is when we fail to see that the devil comes in terms of what keeps us bound, because we're so focused on this. And what ends up happening is we end up heartbroken because we ignore everything else that's within our situation or within our environment. We ignore emotions of other people. We also possibly ignore other scenarios that are going on, and we fail to see how we affect people or how people are being treated in the situation or how people feel about us as well. And when I say emotion, the Page of Cups is here. Someone who, is on the quest to applying their, their emotional situation or emotional feelings towards a situation, understanding it and taking those initial steps. And the Page of Cups is someone who, is very young, very, I could say immature. When I say immature, kind of just meaning like ignorant, not really knowing. So when we do this, when we apply only a monetary situation to what we're trying to achieve, when that's all that's on our mind and that's what's important, and we fail to see, like I said, other things, we end up heartbroken. We end up in situations that we maybe didn't see coming, because we really did not see it in the first place, since money is always the only thing that's on our mind with the King of Pentacles here in reverse. So when, like I said, when we only apply that part to our life, are we applying our emotion properly? Do we see other people's emotions? Or do we need to take a step back, like the Page of Cups, and then realign or readjust how we then approach and apply our emotional, confection to what it is that we're trying to do. Because when the King of Pentacles is in reverse, like I said, it's someone who is all about that one thing, that money. And he's someone who is adding stability, but it's not the full gamut of the stability. It's not enough. It's only enough in one area. And this can be like the Devil card here. Keeps us bound to this situation because we, like I said, we fail to see things. Now, if we move over here to this side, when I see this this quad spread over here, this kind of makes me conclude that maybe justice wasn't served. Someone maybe lost out on something. I want to say that they did lose out on something, or they feel that there was unfair treatment to be done. Or that was done, I should say. And when we tend to feel like that, we tend to develop bitterness. We tend to develop, or maybe I should say tend to conjure up, those kind of thoughts where we maybe want to be a little conniving. We want to get back at someone. But I believe that that's why the High Priestess is here, telling you to use your intuition. See that things will work out the way that they're supposed to. And saying that, which is why the Four of Wands is here, to celebrate what you have. And also to look at the situation and make the correct decision, the more mature decision, like Temperance here. Because when justice is in reverse, it's when things, like I said, will work out in time. And it was meant to happen like that. And we must see that. And we must also use our intuition and say, you know what? That's fine. Because that's how it's supposed to be. And to trust that things are going to work out fine and you know what to do. Because the High Priestess has all the answers. She knows what she needs to do. And that's also trusting God, the universe, Spirit, to take care of the situation. Because now it's out of our hands with justice reverse here. But like I said, with Temperance here, letting us know to just relax. Don't worry about the situation so much. Things are going to work out the way that they do. And that's to celebrate maybe what you have now. No, I don't want to say to be upset over the things that you want, that you maybe didn't get from justice not being served. But it'll all work out. And when I was saying about cause and effect, I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. Because with this situation here, having a very narrow mind, only thinking about the money, only thinking about one thing that really only truly matters to you, as an individual. And with the Page of Cups here, not seeing what's going on. Learning to then apply your emotion the proper way due to not seeing certain facts. And what happens? It's the devil who then leads us into this mind frame and we end up heartbroken, right? Even here, using your intuition to understand that things are going to work out, that there's how in the manner in which they're supposed to, which then leads you to thinking the proper way and not letting that unfair situation debilitate you, which leads us to the Four of Wands, which is happiness, celebration, seeing the good of the situation, having a happy home. Because when you don't allow this to debilitate you, you set the tone, for your environment in a healthy manner. People then see that, you're strong. Nothing is going to keep you down. And when you have that type of mindset, it exudes off of you into your environment. So you possibly don't end up like this. So see how I was saying, I feel that these are like two separate situations, maybe for two separate people, or maybe this is what's going on in terms of a couple, being on two opposite sides of the spectrum, maybe. Maybe justice in reverse has something to do with the King of Pentacles in reverse, since they're both, you know, the only cards that are reversed. So maybe possibly this is a mindset of maybe either one in terms of a couple. And once again, this can be, you know, your kids and you. This can be your mother and your father, or you and your mother, you and your father, you and the neighbor, you know, whatever the case may be. But I feel like this is a situation where it's maybe in the same household. And someone's at this point and someone's at this point. But look at the center. These are two completely conflicting cards. They don't match up. But from the Three of Swords, when you then readjust that and you don't allow this to happen again to you, is when you can then have the Four of Wands moment. And the Four of Wands also signifies, you know, celebration from a hard situation coming out of it. Because justice in reverse, yeah, that's tough. It's, you know, it's feeling like it was unfair. Feeling like the good guy got the shit end of the stick in a sense. But not really, because karma's real. And you never know, maybe in this bad situation, you either learned a lot about yourself, or maybe it brought you to a point where you were introduced to someone new, or you were introduced to a new situation that maybe empowered you or made you better as a person. And you would never saw it coming unless you were on, you know, the unfair side of the spectrum. But really, it wasn't unfair, because you walked into a different situation that actually helped you out, if that's what happened. So you really didn't lose. You won, and let's celebrate that, you know, with the Four of Wands. But this just leads to heartbreak here. And this is what happens when we allow things to bind us, to bound us, and keep us, you know, down. And then we don't fail to see it, right? Because we have a one-track mind. Also, maybe the King of Pentacles can maybe relate to the High Priestess here. Not using your intuition. You're being asked to use your intuition. Because when you don't, you end up not allowing yourself to apply your emotion the proper way, and to go off of that feeling that you have inside and that little voice, right? And then justice then has to be served, because are you doing it right? Are you applying it correctly? I think that's about it, guys. Yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Oh, it's a little short, but I don't know. It was weird. I just saw the card shift like that, and I was like, wow, that's pretty crazy. And then even the Devil and Temperance both popped out at the same time, and they were one on top of the other. Temperance was on top of the Devil, I believe. And I initially didn't see the Devil beneath it, because they were stuck together, they were so close together. And when I moved the Temperance card, I was like, oh wow. I was like, that's pretty crazy. Those are two completely conflicting ideas, or cards, I should say, you know? And yeah. And when I looked at it, because I mean, I'm not saying because I'm only right-handed, but I'm assuming that this is what it was. When I look at it from my point of view, how you guys are seeing it, because I flipped them, so it's in your guys' perspective, I automatically put Temperance down on the right, and then I put the Devil card on the left. You know, and when I did that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe just because I'm right-handed, but you know, things don't happen by coincidence. Things happen for a reason. And yeah. So guys, I hope you liked it, and I hope it helps someone out there, you know. But okay, I'll see you in July. Yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and you know, let's go here. Let's remember to use, you know, our intuition and apply it properly and make those decisions that we necessarily have to make, that we necessarily don't want to make, and don't allow the Devil card to take over you, and you end up like the Three of Swords. Because the Four of Wands is predicated upon Temperance. And the Three of Swords outcome, just like the Four of Wands outcome, is predicated upon the Devil. Alright guys, we'll see ya.